I'm making Randy kind of pee into a fan as he's trying to tune this thing. I don't think it's sucking in enough air. One of the things we came up with is, yes, I love that S&S air cleaner. I think I have gone beyond the capabilities of that particular air cleaner. We've got my Lowrider S up on the lift again. I was really hoping to show you guys a finished dyno. We started looking through, we weren't really happy with kind of the lower end on that one. And then again, like I was explaining last week, we have paying customers that come in here. So one of the things we came up with is, yes, I love that S&S air cleaner. It looks like an old chopper with a S&S carb on there. I love that teardrop. I have it on 4 of my M8 motorcycles. I think I have gone beyond the capabilities of that particular air cleaner for a 131 motor. I think I'm making Randy kind of pee into a fan as he's trying to tune this thing. I don't think it's sucking in enough air. Reached out to Scott at S&S. He agreed, and I have ordered a different S&S air cleaner. The whole thing hasn't come in yet, so that's why we haven't finished it, but I'll give you an idea. Where you've got that teardrop shape that looks very reminiscent of the old S&S carburetors. This one still has the holes around the outside, but it has this big hole in the middle. What I didn't get, I got this, I didn't get the actual air filter. There'll be a different air filter that fits right here that's kind of cone shaped. This is supposed to move tremendously more air than the particular one that I have on there now. So I think that will fix our little issues on the bottom end, and Randy will be able to finish the tune on this. However, we are pulling the pipes off right now and going to put the stock O2 sensors back in it. Like I've said in the past, please like and subscribe. Share the channel with your friends. Feel free to comment down below, and I will try to respond to everybody's comments. Check us out at the Fort, Loveland, Colorado. Thanks a lot. As a lot of you guys probably have heard, a really great gentleman here in Denver named Chris Mowers had passed away on the FXR tour this year. A friend of mine that helped with the motor, Todd, is really, really good friends with him. I think they even actually lived together before they were both married men, single guys working on Harleys. Todd was working on his Dyna this weekend and realized that it's not something he's going to be able to fix. He's going to have to probably have one of his cylinder heads remachined. I'm going to let him take this motorcycle to Chris's funeral tomorrow. So Randy and I came in on a Sunday, and we're going to get this ready for Todd to ride to that funeral on Monday. We're just going to be taking the pipe off for now, pulling out the wideband O2 sensors that Randy uses for dyno tuning, and we're going to stick in the Harley-Davidson ones so that Todd can ride this. We started talking about it last week. We were showing some of the things that Randy was looking at while he was actually on the dyno doing a tune. But what is a dyno tune? Everybody's heard that term, but a lot of people don't know what it is. So we're going to get into that a little bit this week. I'll explain some more. All right, so we got this all ready. I'm gonna get it down. I'm gonna get it to Todd so that he can use it tomorrow. Like I said, what I wanted to talk to a lot of people about is we were showing last week all the different information, the air-fuel ratios. I don't know that we talked about, there's also timing tables involved in tuning and things like that. What you're doing when you're running something on a dyno is basically acting like you're riding it down the road. We can simulate going up hills with extra load, all these different things. But what you're looking at when you're dyno tuning is trying to get the air-fuel ratios and the timing tables as good as they can be. There's a lot of different ways to accomplish the same thing. When I very first started in this industry years ago, people were trying to go the least expensive route, which was a lot of what people call piggyback systems. It's something that you unplug a couple different connections within your bike. You plug in this little box. There's a tune in there that you've picked out. That's basically it. And then there are systems where they replace the whole ECM. Your whole computer comes out, the new one goes in, then have the ability, that's like an unlocked ECM, and people go through and put their tune in that way. You know, what we tend to use what I think is the best system is anything that's just a bit of software. I'm holding this in my hand. This is what this was attuned with originally. This is a Harley-Davidson Street Tuner. Yes, they do give you a little box and you can go put this away, and you would need this if it was ever tuned again the second time, but this does not stay on the bike. The problem that I've seen with the piggyback systems that stay on the bike is inexpensive little plastic box can split apart. It can get water, it can get dirt, it can get all sorts of things in there. Then you're kind of left hanging. The Harley ECM, if you ever look up anything on Harley, the testing that they do for their ECM so that water and things don't get in there is pretty extensive. They've got a dyno basically that they can run a bike on and simulate riding down, hundreds, thousands of miles if they want. This particular one that I'm thinking of, they'll take the seats off, they'll take some of the side covers off so your electronics are exposed. They've got these high pressure nozzles that are shooting actually salt water is what I was told at this bike while they're running it, try to find a failure point. So Harley does put a lot into making sure their ECMs stay sealed and don't succumb to the elements. So if you're just putting a piece of software in that to tune it, that's probably not going to get damaged. Most aftermarket shops have a computer now that they can diagnose stuff with. Harley tried for a long time to not let that happen, and they were the only ones that had those diagnostic computers. But on a lot of those replacement ECMs, neither one of those types of systems will fully be able to get in there and diagnose issues or fix issues. But the biggest thing that I like about the systems that just go into the stock ECM is that ECM from Harley-Davidson is really designed to take the elements and not succumb to the weather, like I had said. There's various ones on the market. Randy has been working with a company for a long time that he's very comfortable with. They actually, even some of their brand new software, they will let Randy test out, which is really cool. As these bikes get more and more complicated, it's a really good thing. The other thing with having it dyno tuned is you're having a professional look at it. So many of these systems, including the ones with a replacement ECM, is more marketed towards a guy at home installing it, and then they say it's going to auto tune. They basically pick out a map, and that's where we start with. Here's something that's close, right? Here's something that's very close. It's the same cam, it's got the right timing tables, and then we go for it, right? However, a lot of these maps were designed at a lot lower elevation than we are here in Colorado. And not even that. If Randy went through and designed an entire custom map, let's say for my bike, and then another gentleman came in with a 2022 Lowrider S or ST with that same motor, and he wanted to do a 131 kit, and he wanted to do every single thing that I did. Now, Randy would probably take my map and put it in there so that he has a really good starting point. But all of these things have tolerances in them. We've all heard of like crank run out tolerances, but there's injector tolerances. There's so many different tolerances that two mechanical items, even if you think they're exactly the same, they aren't. They are not going to run the same. They're not going to end up with the same tune. They're not going to be exactly the same. They just aren't. When I used to work for a Harley-Davidson dealership, on my Road King, one of the very first things we did was what Harley described as their torque cam. And man, that thing came out with great numbers. I've never really put a lot of stock into what the numbers are going to be. They're going to be what they're going to be. Now, the reason we haven't finished this one and we are getting the wider air cleaner is we could see that we weren't living to the potential of this motor. Thusly, I'm going to get an air intake that takes in more air so they can be re-dynoed, or at least finish the dyno. You could run it the way it is right now. My friend Todd's going to ride this tomorrow. It will run just fine. It's just not at its full potential for everyone, to see. That's really what you're looking for, is to get your bike to run as good as it can in its configuration, whatever that may be. Whether you're just doing pipes and an air intake, whether you're doing a full build like this one with new heads, having a professional dyno tune it is going to be your best option to get the bike to run the best that it can. So having a professional do it for you, it's also less money up front, to then dyno tune it and make it run for your bike. If you buy one of those more expensive ones and plan on doing it yourself, if you have problems, if it runs great, great. But if you have any problems, then you're on your own, and then you end up paying a professional to try to fix that situation. So it's just best to do it this way, we feel. Feel free to reach out, leave any comments down below, ask any questions. I will try my best. I have been doing this stuff for a long time. I would not say that I'm a super expert on it. I can talk to a lot of people. I may have to wait a little bit to answer your questions. If you get too far in the weeds with me, I may have to ask somebody so that I give you a good answer. But, come see us out here at the fort. If you want to do stuff like this, have your bike run as good as it can run and make the modifications that you want to make. I had one person even mention to me on the last one, they were very interested in this pipe. We can certainly get stuff like that. We can get all these different things for modifying your bike and do it professionally so that you just get to go enjoy it. Get the bike the way that you want it and just go ride it. Don't be messing with it. This is what we do for a living, because we love this, but even sometimes this becomes very tedious. If you try to do this stuff at home, a lot of times it's just way more frustration than it turns out to be worth. And like I said, chopping ain't easy. Sometimes doing all this cool stuff is a bit of a pain in the ass. If you just bring it to us, we can make sure that we get it set up the way that you want. So I know this wasn't the most exciting episode, but please still like and subscribe and share it with your friends. But come out and see us here at the fort, and we'll help you get the bike the way you want it. Thanks a lot. See you next time. Hey, I thought that was going to be the end of this video, but I just got home with the lowrider, and I thought I had not shown you guys an update on the home shop. That I did get a big piece of artwork put up. That was something very old from High Country that had been in a storage facility somewhere else. I found it, and it is about 16 feet long and about 5 feet tall. It came in 4 pieces. Brady installed it for me. He felt a little safer up on the ladder than I did. I'm having a little problem with one of my arms too. I won't get into it, but nevertheless, Brady came to the rescue and he got that hung up there. And, that was a promotional picture that Harley-Davidson set out on the 100th anniversary. Those are all 2003 100th anniversary bikes being ridden down a highway that looks like it has just snowed. Everybody's fairly bundled up. It's a pretty darn cool picture. And like I said, it came in 4 pieces. We got it hung up and put it all together. The heater up there that Doug's guys got in for me works really well. I mean, it hasn't gotten all that cold yet, but the little bit that's had to turn on, I've been out here in the evening sometimes and it's popped on. Got some doors painted. Like I say, Eloy came in and painted all the walls. I have a lot of stuff in here. I have 0 organization at this point. That is going to be this weekend's chore, is trying to get, I'm about to move some bikes. I think underneath that amazing picture, I'm going to put some shelves back in that area, try to store a lot of stuff. We've got 2 lifts now. Got my lift, which is a hydraulic, electric over hydraulic lift. A K&L, and Brady's lift. He's got his air-powered handy, new drill press, some new work tables. Yeah, so we've just got some stuff going on here, and it's all just kind of been thrown in at this point. Got new lights installed. Got both of the garage doors. I have such high ceilings in here. I got both garage doors with the engines on the front there, the lift and everything, so it goes up high, up against the ceiling. I didn't see the point of having a really high ceiling if the garage doors are still, when they're open, are still right in the way. So got those put up almost like a shop would be. Yeah, that cool flooring. So yeah, it's coming along. We may actually even this winter do a few projects in here. I'll keep you posted on those as well.